Good morning. Today's Sunday, May 29th, and it's day 98. I'm still here at Kind of Outdoorsy Hostel in Duncannon, PA, just trying to get my stuff together, and I'll probably be heading out shortly. But I told you all I would give you a look at my malfunctioning gear, so let's do that real quick. Okay, so these key items here all currently have malfunctions. Starting with my trekking pole, you can see that my one pole basically came apart on me yesterday. Pretty much the adhesive that was inside of this piece holding these two pieces together came off, and the two pieces just separated. And also, as you can see, yet another one of my baskets has come apart, and I've lost yet another tip. So I'm not too happy with CNOC at the moment. Thankfully, someone left trekking poles here at the hostel, so I'm just gonna take one because I kind of need two poles to set up my tent. Next up, y'all know I've been having issues with my sleeping pad. So pretty much I discovered that there's a hole right here by the valve. As you can see, I tried to seal it up with some liquid sealant. That pretty much has not worked too well. So I'm going to be giving Thermarest a call today to see if they will send me a new pad. Just above that, my inflatable pillow. Now, I'm not sure how this happened, but when I bought this pillow, it had a groove going all the way across here, which gave me a nice comfortable place to lay my head. And there was actually two, so there used to be one right here as well. Now, as you can see, they are coming undone, which is just creating a large inflated balloon that I'm supposed to lay on. And as you can see, it's off center and not comfortable at all. So I'm going to have to get a new pillow. And then lastly, my food bag. Now, I'm actually having a couple issues with this Hilltop Packs food bag. The first of which is this clip. Now, I think because they want to try to keep their gear as lightweight as possible, they put this little weak clip on it, and it often comes undone when I'm trying to hang my food bag, which is not good because I need this to hold my food up so that bears can't get to it.
You gonna start working back here now?
But also on the inside, you can see this piece, which I think helps keep odors inside, is starting to come apart. So I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do at the moment. I'm gonna need to be making some swaps pretty soon, but we'll figure it out. I think they're about to clean in here, so I need to kind of get packed up and get out of the way. All right, so it's just after 12:30 in the afternoon. We're back on the move. I left Duncannon probably an hour ago, and I'm about 2.5 miles in on the day. The goal today is to get to Peter's Mountain Shelter. So just 11.5 miles. And I think I'm going to need to take another 2-3 days off trail because of my shins. That 30-mile day was probably too much, as I suspected. And then following it up with the 17-mile day yesterday, I'm really feeling it at the moment. Still not a whole lot of pain, but it's more than what I was feeling prior to that 30-mile day. So yeah, I probably should have just tried to stay in Duncannon, but I have someone who sent me a care package, and that is on its way to Port Clinton. So I'm about 3.5 days away from there. So I want to try to push to get there. And I don't know if I'll stay in Port Clinton. I might just go to the post office there, pick up my package, and then find a shuttle or something to the neighboring town of Hamburg. And then I might stay there for 2-3 days, rest up, ice up, and then I'm gonna have to go back to doing lower miles. I hope that I can get there in the next few days without a whole lot of issue. So we'll just have to see. We'll have to see. So yeah, today is 11 and a half. If I get there and I feel like I can do a little more, I'll keep going a little further. I think there's a tent site that's like 15 miles away. So we'll see. That will make tomorrow a lot easier, because tomorrow I think I had like a 20+ mile day planned. And I feel like one of these days my shins are just going to completely give out on me if I don't finally stop and take a serious break. But it's just so annoying, and I've been so stubborn because like I finally get to a point where I can do big days again, and then my shins say slow it down. So I just need to listen and slow it down. My stay in Duncannon was pretty nice. It was only one night. I don't know what it was about that town, but it was something that had me feeling a little uncomfortable. Maybe it was all the Trump 2024 flags and the we support the police flags and all that stuff. But yeah, we're moving on. So let's go. Guess what? The rocks are here. Taking it slow and steady. So I guess I've reached this point in my hike where I'm starting to think about and wonder what could be next for me when this is over. What am I gonna do Where am I gonna go? How am I gonna do it? And I've gotten that question from a few people out on trail recently. And honestly, I have no idea. I haven't really given it much thought, but it's starting to cross my mind more and more as the days go by and as I get closer to Katahdin. So eventually this hike will come to an end, whether that is by me reaching Katahdin or something happening and me getting off trail. I doubt the latter is going to happen, but you know, always got to be aware of that possibility. But yeah, I don't really know what I'm gonna do. So I'm 30 years old, single, no kids, no plans for kids, no relationships, nothing in that regard really happening in my life at the moment. So I guess the sky's the limit. The world is sort of my oyster, and so far in my adult life, whatever I've wanted to do, I've found a way to make it happen. When I had dreams of living in New York City and working in the fashion industry right after college, I made it happen. I had dreams of this thru hike, and I'm making it happen. So what next? The little bit of life experience that I have has shown me some things as far as what I might want out of life and what I don't. After living in New York and New York adjacent for 5 years, I know that I really don't ever want to go back to paying anyone rent ever again in my life. I know that I've had several jobs which were dream jobs at one point that I eventually figured out I don't really like. I know that I don't really desire the typical American lifestyle of like owning a house and cars and having kids and a family. And honestly, at this point in my life, I don't want to be settled down in just one place. There's no one place that I would want to call home for the rest of my life. I've sort of grown into an explorer. I like to be in different places. I like to move around. I like to see and experience and try different things. So how do I turn that into a life? I guess I'm doing it, but how do we keep it going? I guess I'll have to figure that out. One thing that has been on my mind for quite some time is I do have this desire to own and live out of a van or some sort of large vehicle. And that goes right back to what I was just saying. I don't ever want to pay someone rent again. And I don't want to spend my entire life paying for a home that is cemented into the ground in one place. I like to move around. And at this point, I live a pretty simple and minimal lifestyle. So when I move, or when I decide I want to move, I want to be able to just easily bring all my stuff with me. And, you know, this thru hike is somewhat similar, or it shows me some of the things that may come up if I do end up living out of a vehicle, and how things will malfunction and how plans won't always go the way that I hope. And I have to be able to think on my feet and be resourceful and, you know, just make sure I'm good. And I have to do all those things out here on a daily basis. So I know a lot of people end up falling into this glamorized idea of living in a van. And I'm not interested in hashtag van life. I'm interested in freedom. I don't want to work for a company who's only going to pay me the bare minimum and them expect me to sit there for another 30, 40 years until they tell me that I'm eligible to retire. Like, what is that? I don't want to live in one place and only be able to experience the world every so often when I'm able to take vacations. I don't want to be told that I can only take 3 weeks of vacation a year. You know? I don't want any pets because I don't want to be tied down to that responsibility. I am, however, open to relationships. And when I say that, I mean both platonic and romantic. So yeah, I'm just sort of trying to piece together in my mind the life that I sort of wish for myself or envision for myself, so that I can start to figure out how to make it a reality. And, you know, thankfully, I guess I still have at least a couple months to think about it and figure some things out. So I'm confident that it'll all come together the way it's supposed to, just like everything else in my life has so far. And I'm just really grateful to be able to have the opportunity to live life on my own terms. I'm grateful that I was able to see beyond like this idea that America has sort of based itself on, because it doesn't have to be that. So that's what I'm feeling right now. That's what I'm thinking about. And I just wanted to share. My arm is tired from holding this phone up, so that's it. So I'm not quite sure how I managed to pull this off, but I'm just shy of 19 miles on the day so far, and it's around 6:30. I started at 11:30 this morning. I only planned on going 11 miles initially, and I was having some discomfort this morning, but that sort of went away. So I've been able to plug more miles. Look at how cool that is. It's so pretty. So around mile 6 or 7 today, when my shin discomfort magically went away, I decided that I would try to push it a little further today. Was that a smart move? I don't know. Probably not. But my new plan was to camp at this stealth site at the top of this hill that I'm currently climbing. And that would have put me right at like 21 and a half miles today. which is pretty impressive considering I started at 11:30 and now it's right around 7:30 and I'm like less than a mile away. However, I started looking at the comments about that campsite, and the very first two comments I see are reports of a porcupine, which is sort of hanging around that campsite, stalking hikers' tents at night. And someone told me before I even started this hike that porcupines will come and try to like eat your trekking pole handles, especially if you have cork handles, because they're attracted to the salt on your handles that comes from your palms. So there have been reports as recent as literally last night of this porcupine like running around the campsite, making a lot of noise, like I guess trying to come up to hikers' tents and chew through so that they can get to like their sweaty gear and clothes and stuff. So I was like, I don't want to camp there. I don't want to deal with the porcupine. So the next best site that I see is another 3 miles beyond that. So it looks like today will be a 24-mile day, which I totally was not expecting. And at this rate, I'll be getting there right before it gets dark, like sometime between 8:30 and 9, but probably closer to 9. You can see the sun is setting behind me, so I probably won't have a lot of time to throw up my tent, find somewhere to hang my food bag, and get myself settled before it gets dark. So I probably won't be checking in again until I'm literally about to go to sleep. But I just wanted to let y'all know what was happening. So yeah, let me finish this climb and hustle to camp. So these are pretty much my makeshift ice packs for the night. Just want to make sure I'm taking care of the shins because this morning they were not feeling so great. Thankfully, things turned around midday, so I want to start off tomorrow feeling good so that we can tackle some more miles. All right, so this is pretty much going to do it for tonight. I scrambled to get to camp, get my tent set up, get my bear line set up, and all that before it got dark. So that went pretty well. I ate dinner, and now I'm about to go to sleep. So this is going to do it for today. I hope I can get a good night's sleep tonight. I'm a little nervous because I haven't stealth camped by myself in quite a while. And I can sort of hear some gunshots off in the distance. I think there's like a military base or something like that pretty close by. So I hope that doesn't keep me up. But yeah, aside from that, this is pretty much going to do it. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. Have a good night. So this ended up being my little campsite last night. It's pretty decent. Quite a few rocks and roots that I had to set my tent up over, but we managed. And I swear, as I was laying down to go to sleep last night, I heard something quite large walking through the woods, snapping tree branches. I could have sworn it was a bear, but I really don't know what it was. I got out of my tent, shined my headlight around, didn't see anything, and whatever it was went away. And the rest of the night was pretty chill, but that kind of freaked me out a bit. So it is Monday, May 30th. just after 8:30 a.m. and it is day 99. Today really shouldn't be too eventful, I don't think. I'm planning to do 19 and a half miles to get to some shelter, which I forget the name of it. The last time I checked the weather forecast, these next few days are supposed to be pretty hot and humid, like what we just saw last weekend when I was at Harper's Ferry. So I'm making sure that I stay hydrated, take my time, and yeah, just gotta keep doing what I've been doing to manage and get by. So yeah, I'm ready to go, feeling good. Took care of everything I needed to this morning, ate breakfast, used the bathroom, all that good stuff. And yeah, we're off. Man, today is just beautiful. Taking it slow and easy. Oh boy, it is hot as hell. And it's supposed to be like this for the next few days. In the high 80s, mid 90s. Whew, child. It is quite toasty. Whew. Oh my gosh, that feels so good. So good, so good. Don't mind getting a little wet today because it's so hot. Whew, that felt great. So it's pretty much 2 o'clock. I've logged 13 miles on the day so far, and boy is it hot. I've got a small climb coming up. This is only about 1.5 miles long, so hopefully it's not too bad. And then I'll be up on the ridge for the rest of the day. We've got one shelter in 7 miles, which would make it a 20-mile day. Another one in 11 miles, which would make it a 24 like yesterday. So we have to see which one we decide to go to. How you doing? Those feelings have returned where I'm pretty much back to being over the shit. It's like every day is just starting to feel pretty monotonous. It's like get up, hike, spend most of the day alone. Like, we got climbs and it's tired. We see a view. Oh, it looks pretty much like the rest. Oh, I'm tired. I'm hungry. Like, Every day is starting to feel the same, and it's like, I'm ready for this to be over. It's not going fast enough. By the end of the day today, I'll have pretty much exactly 1,000 miles left. And tomorrow, I'll be crossing the 1,200 mile mark, which will mean that there's less than 1,000 miles left. And I just want to get them over with so that I can be done. The reason why I keep going back and forth about like spending some time off trail is because I feel like, you know, if I get off trail, I could talk myself into just saying fuck it and not coming back to finish this. So I just keep trying to push so that I can just get this done and never have to do this again. At the same time, I kind of want to take a few days off just to rest and recuperate, but then I don't want to get back on trail and like see new people, meet new people. At this point, I'm kind of over it. Like, there's not really a whole lot of people out here that I'm interested in at this point in the game. Like, I came out here wanting to meet a lot of people and make friends, and at this point, I'm just like, forget it. I don't care anymore. I have enough friends back home. But yeah, I'm kind of just, I'm at that point where I'm sort of tired of this hike. I don't know how I'm going to get these last 1,000 miles done and actually enjoy it. Like, I'm gonna have to figure something out. I mean, even with these videos, like, they all feel the same. I'm just recording the same footage every day. I'm at the point where, like, editing videos feels like such a daunting additional task that I don't really want to do anymore. But I came out here with the intention of like seeing this through and providing a complete experience for those of you watching. And through hiking is a lot harder than it looks. I mean, the same way people get tired of getting up every day and going to work, I'm starting to get tired of getting up every day and pretty much walking on this trail that looks like this. I'm ready for something else. But for right now, I gotta keep going, so we'll keep going. Is this the Rocksylvania that everyone complains about? I think I finally found it. All right, let's get through this. So we are here at William Penn Shelter. As you can see, it's a rather larger shelter with 2 floors. So this puts me at 20 miles on the day. And I was debating going to the next shelter, which is just 4 miles away. But apparently there's no water there, so I would have to pack out extra water and carry it from here. And I don't think I feel like doing that, so I'm just going to stop here for the day. 20 miles is good enough for me, and it'll be another 20 miles tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna call it a little early today, especially since we hiked so late into the evening yesterday. So I'm gonna set up my sleep stuff, get working on dinner, and get to bed a little early tonight, hopefully. Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, May 31st. Can't believe May is pretty much over. It is day 100 and it's about 8 a.m. and I'm just getting started for today. We've got another 20-mile day, inching closer to the towns of Port Clinton and Hamburg. So I'm actually expecting to be in Port Clinton tomorrow. Someone mailed me a care package to the post office there, so I'm gonna go pick that up tomorrow. And then I have someone who's going to meet me and drive me over to Hamburg, where I'm going to be staying at a bed and breakfast and taking a zero. I was gonna take 2 zeros, but I think I'm just gonna take one because I'm feeling okay to continue on every day. And I think as long as I continue to do my little morning and night routine of stretches and all that stuff, I should be all right for the time being. And yeah, we're still moving. Pennsylvania is starting to live up to its name, Rocksylvania. I ran into quite a few rocky sections yesterday, and it is still rocky today. So much so that my feet are in so much pain. And when I got to camp last night, took my shoes and socks off, I had blisters the size of quarters on the bottoms of both feet. So this morning, I was like, I'm not playing no games. Basically wrapped both feet up in Leukotape and took a couple ibuprofen and planning to push another 20-mile day basically. So there's a shelter, I think it's called Eagle's Nest Shelter or something like that, in 19.5 miles. So that's where I'm planning to get to today, and that'll just leave me about 8 miles outside of Port Clinton, so that'll be an easy Nero tomorrow. And yeah, we're just gonna take our time like we did yesterday. It's supposed to be even hotter than yesterday, in the 90s today. So that's not gonna be pleasant. But hopefully I can I should be able to get at least 10 miles done by 12. So when the hottest part of the day gets here, I'll be in the second half of my day mileage-wise. And I'm just about 7 miles from 1200, so once we hit that, I'll know for certain that we have less than 1,000 miles to go to Maine. So I'm super stoked, ready to get going. So I'll talk to you in a little bit. It's another beautifully hot day here in Pennsylvania. I swear, these ignorant, immature idiots just cannot help themselves. They will deface and destroy literally anything. What a way to ruin a beautiful view like this by spray painting on rocks a bunch of penises. Like, how old are we? All right, here we go. Mile 1200. Hey, we officially have less than 1,000 miles to Katahdin. Just 994 miles left. I almost forgot. And only 96 miles of Pennsylvania. Thank goodness. Found this nice little campsite to stop and take a little break. I've been here for a good 45 minutes so far. And I'll probably be here at least another 15. Just resting up. put in 9.5 miles this morning, so I deserve a little break. So it's about 12:30 now. I have a little more than 9 miles to go today, and honestly, I'm not looking to do any more than that. It's hot like yesterday. These rocks are hard on the feet, and yeah, I'm still gonna get to Port Clinton tomorrow to pick up my package, and then I'll be in Hamburg for a 0. So after that, we're going to knock out the rest of PA, which should take me about 4 days after I get to Hamburg. So by this time next week, I will be in New Jersey. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah. So I have some exciting news to share. I am about to receive a new tent and a new trekking pole. When I was at Trail Days back in Damascus, I stopped and talked to the folks at the Z-Packs booth. Turns out I know the marketing director or marketing manager for Z-Packs. And so they let me know if I needed anything, just to let them know. And while we were chatting, I was looking at some of the tents that they had on display. Y'all know I'm currently using the Z-Packs Duplex, and that tent has been amazing so far. Hasn't failed me in any way, shape, or form, which I'm super happy about. However, I'm starting to feel like it maybe has a little bit too much space for me and my needs. I mean, I can easily fit myself and all of my gear inside of it, and I still have a lot of extra space left over. So when I was looking through the different tents they had, I noticed this one that is just a single person tent, and you set it up using just one trekking pole instead of 2. And so they let me look at it and crawl inside of it, and I was surprised that when I was inside of it, there was still enough space for me and I believe all of my stuff to fit. So before I left Trail Days, they told me that if I needed anything to reach out to them. So I decided to reach out to them and say, hey, I love the duplex, but I think I'm maybe looking for a little something smaller. So what I need to do in order to make this exchange. And so they said that they would send me the tent that I was looking at, and they offered to send me one of their prototype trekking poles that they're working on, and I'll just have to give them feedback on it. So I'm really excited about that. I just need to tell them where to send it. And this actually comes at the perfect time because one of my CNOC poles came apart. So I ended up leaving it at the hostel back in Duncannon, and I guess some other hikers left trekking poles back there also. So I just swapped out my CNOC pole from one of those. And it's been doing fine so far, but I don't really know this brand that I'm carrying, so it'll be nice to get a Z-Packs pole. But yeah, I should be getting that within the next week or so, once I make it into New Jersey. And I still need to call Thermarest once I get into town tomorrow so that I can get a new sleeping pad, because as y'all know, mine still has a leak in it. And I've been trying to deal with it, but a bunch of weird things have been happening with it. So now, like right where I lay my head, there's a huge, oh my God, I just almost walked into that snake. I didn't even see that. You scared the crap out of me. Jesus Christ. Oh, now you want to come this way. Like, leave me alone. Okay, we're done filming. I'm almost afraid to record again after almost walking into that snake. Like, I need to pay attention to where I'm going. But I'm almost 2 miles away from camp. I think I'm a little more than 2 away. Can't wait to get there because I'm hot, I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I've noticed that I have an ingrown toenail on one of my big toes. And I'm pretty sure my old Keen shoes did that. But I've been able to manage it so far. It hasn't bothered me too much, but today it's been bothering me a lot. So I don't think it's serious. Like, there's barely any redness on the side of my toe, but there is a little something happening, and I can definitely feel it today. So I don't know if I need to go see a doctor or if there is like a way that I can sort of remedy it myself. I'll have to do some Googling. But yeah, just one more thing that's going to bother me and make this hike a little bit harder. But that's what this is about, right? If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But yeah, I just want to get to camp so I can take these shoes off, sit down, and relax. And I'm glad that I'm gonna be getting there a little early, probably between 4:30 and 5, just like I did yesterday. So we'll get some time to rest. So we are here at Eagle's Nest Shelter. Puts us at 19.5 miles on the day. The shelter is right back there. I'm camping right over there. And I'm so glad to be done for the day because I thought my shins would be the problem, but now it's my big toenail. Oh, it's ingrown. It's like so annoying. So might finally go see a doctor when I get into town tomorrow. Thankfully, it's only 8.5 miles from here into Port Clinton. So I'll stop at the post office, pick up my package, maybe go see a doctor, and then make my way to the bed and breakfast in Hamburg. And I'll be there for at least a day, taking a 0. I'm excited. But I'm gonna finish up dinner. I have 2 packets of ramen with some chicken and couscous mixed in. And thankfully we have service here, so I'm probably just gonna lay down and watch some YouTube videos when I'm finished until I fall asleep, since it's an early day. So I'll probably talk to y'all later. See ya. Good morning, y'all. New shoes, aka Trailhead Justin here. Still on the AT. Today is day 101, and it's June 1st. Look at that. I've been out here for so long. Today is a shorter day, an 8.5 mile Nero into the town of Port Clinton. I should have a package at the post office, so I'm heading there first, and I should be there around 12 noon to pick it up. And after that, I'll head to the bed and breakfast where I'll be staying in Hamburg, which is just the next town over. Taking a 0 tomorrow. And there's some things that I need to take care of while I'm in town. Not just laundry, resupply, and YouTube video. That's all the normal stuff, but I'm still using this sleeping pad that is deflating. So I need to call either Thermarest or REI to get them to send me a new one. And let me see, who else did it? My food bag was made by Hilltop Packs, and I think the liner that keeps like water out of the bag when it rains is coming apart. So I need to call them to see what to do about that. And yeah, I might also be trying to find a podiatrist because I have a little ingrown toenail on one of my big toes. I was telling y'all yesterday that it was starting to bother me. And I think I got it from my last pair of shoes, those Keens, because I was telling y'all it was just feeling so tight in the toe box. And that'll definitely do it. So I might need to go try to find a podiatrist, get that taken care of, because I don't want to be hiking on it with it getting worse. It's irritating, and you already have enough aches and pains to deal with. My big toe, don't want to deal with that. So thankfully, I got a message from Alicia. She lives in Pennsylvania, and she said that she would be around and available today and tomorrow if I need anything. So if I can find a podiatrist, I might see if she can take me there. So let's hope we can get all this stuff under control so that we can keep it moving on Friday. When I get to town, I only have about 75 miles left of Pennsylvania, and I hate to say it, but I'm ready to move on from this state. Yesterday, on paper, the terrain looks really easy. It's like we were up on the ridge all day yesterday, still up on the ridge most of today, but oh my gosh. Once you leave Duncannon and continue heading north, the trail just takes a turn for the worse, and those rocks are as horrible as everyone says. And at first I thought maybe people were being dramatic, but no, they are terrible. They hurt. Oh my gosh, they hurt. Every rock is super sharp and jagged, and they're just sticking straight up out of the ground like a needle, ready to stab you in the feet. Man. And you will just walk through like fields of boulders and sharp rocks, and it is the worst. But I do want to say, I don't think this section of the AT is a good representation of what Pennsylvania has to offer. I don't want people to think that every trail in Pennsylvania is going to be as rough as this. I mean, I talked about how the first half of PA had some of the best trail that I've seen so far. But I've hiked a few other trails in this state. Y'all can go back and find my Loyal Sock Trail videos. I also did the Black Forest Loop Trail a couple years ago. Those trails are awesome. They're so beautiful, so rewarding, the right amount of challenge, and definitely not super rocky like this. I mean, they have their sections, of course, but I was never in excruciating pain the way I have been for the last couple days. So I just don't want people to think that this rocky AT section is all that Pennsylvania is, because it's not. And PA really does a good job of maintaining its trail systems. So I don't quite understand what happened with this one. They did good in the beginning, right up until Duncannon, but after that, oof, child. But anyways, after my 0 tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get through the rest of the state in about 4 days. So yeah, for now, let's just hightail it into town. We've only got 8 miles to do, so should just take a few hours, and then I can relax and eat. Just to help y'all understand, this is what everyone's talking about when we bring up the PA rocks. They're just everywhere. You can't step anywhere without stepping on a rock. And they just go on and on and on and on. And your feet, they bend this way, they twist that way. They get caught in between 2 rocks, and you end up getting jabbed in the side of your foot. Like, it's painful. So painful. So, about a couple miles back, this guy passes me going the opposite direction, and he's like, hey, watch out up ahead. Someone saw a copperhead just off to the left of the trail, so be careful. And I'm like, okay, but did you see it? And he was like, no, I didn't see it. I must have walked right past it. And I'm like, okay. So there was this couple who were also through hiking, and they were like right behind me. So I kind of stopped out of fear, and I let them go ahead of me because I was like, shit. Ooh, I think sometimes my legs move faster than my eyes do, and I'm scanning the ground all day long trying to make sure that I don't get surprised by anything. But copperheads don't have rattles on their tails, and they are really good at camouflaging into all this foliage on the ground. So I was like, girl, I would walk right up on that thing and not see it until it's too late. So let me let them go ahead of me. And they were hiking at a much slower pace than I was, so I slowed it down a little bit. We all kept our eyes and ears peeled together. And I think we made it past the area where it was spotted, so I'm feeling okay now. The 2 of them stopped to take a little rest break, but at this point we're less than 4 miles outside of town, and I don't want to stop because I want to get some food. So I decided to keep going. And I also decided this morning that I don't really want to take a 0 here. I mean, the only options are a couple hotels and 1 bed and breakfast, and they're all charging like over $100 a night, and I don't really want to pay for that. So I'm just gonna pop into town, grab something to eat, pick up a little resupply, and keep going, because like I mentioned earlier, I really just want to get out of Pennsylvania. So I don't care about how tired I am, how smelly I am. I don't care about this ingrown toenail that's bothering me a little bit. Like, we can deal with all that once we are out of here. As everyone told me, or everyone who's ahead of me has said that things improve so much once you get through this state. So I'm determined to get through it in the next 4 days. So yeah, I'll see y'all in town where we will get something to eat. So I just made it to Port Clinton. Stopped at the post office to see about my package, which I had bounced forward from Smithburg, Maryland, or Smithboro, whatever it's called. And lo and behold, it is still not here. I'm having absolutely zero luck with this whole package bouncing forward thing. And I do not feel like staying here in Port Clinton, so I'm about to catch this shuttle in about 20 minutes to the Cabela's, where I'll do a little resupply, and then I'm probably just gonna keep hiking on. Thankfully, someone who I know through Instagram lives a little further up the trail, and they offered to let me stay with them. So I'm hoping that by hiking out today, I can maybe get there tomorrow, but we'll see. Let's hope. All right, so it is now 5:30 p.m. and I am back on trail. A nice little pit stop in Port Clinton for a few hours, and I kind of let the hottest part of the day pass by. But yeah, I decided I didn't want to stay here. First of all, the post office didn't have my package, and I didn't want to pay $100 a night. So I'm gonna hike another 6 miles today to get to the next shelter. And then tomorrow I'm gonna put in another 20 miles, and I'm getting picked up by someone I met through Instagram, and they're gonna let me stay at their place for a couple of nights. And they were talking about slack packing me, and I'll probably maybe throw a zero in there too. So I'm looking forward to that. So I was supposed to take a zero in Hamburg, but there's really nothing there. So caught a little shuttle, a free shuttle for hikers to the Cabela's over in Hamburg, and I was able to get some McDonald's. So I'm all fueled up and ready to go. I was also able to finally call Thermarest, so we have a case open for my sleeping pad. And also I bought a new camp pillow since my Cedar Summit pillow is now pretty much a balloon, so I threw that one away, bought a new one. Picked up a couple of dinners and a few other things from the Dollar Tree. And I'm gonna keep hiking on because I want to get out of the state really bad. So yeah, so that's an update for now. Kind of in a race against the weather. There are reports of potential thunderstorms later on this evening, starting at around 8. And hopefully I will be at the shelter by that time, or at least close enough to it so that I can duck in real quick. And that'll do it for the day. So let's go. So I know some of y'all might feel a little grossed out when I record from the privy, but for the sake of privacy, I had to. But I just had to share this before I go to bed. So I made it to the shelter, and I was actually planning on sleeping in the shelter until I got there and I saw a couple of other thru hikers laying down in the shelter, and then I saw a couple food bags hanging directly inside the shelter. And like in the last clip, you can see those bright blue food bags off to the side hanging just right there, basically right over their heads. And so I sort of looked at them and I was like, are those your food bags? Like, are you gonna hang them right there and sleep here? And they were like, no, you know, there's this group of section hikers and they're all camped out down there. And they brought their food bags up here and just hung them here. And they said everybody does it. And I was like, no, everyone doesn't do that. And if you're gonna hang your food in the shelter, you better be sleeping in the shelter. Because if a bear comes, they should be coming after you. Like, you know, I'm not gonna bring race into it, although I don't even need to say who they belong to. I'm just going to say to everyone, please teach your kids how to recreate responsibly. Please teach them how to be courteous and considerate of other people so that we can all have a safe, fun time outdoors. I'm not sleeping in a shelter with someone else's food hanging in it. So I pretty much said no and I set up my tent. But if I were to sleep in that shelter and a bear were to come sniffing out someone else's food, they better hope that bear does me in, because if not, I'm coming for you. Because you put me in that dangerous predicament. So just wanted to say that. Again, we all have to work together out here. Stop being so selfish, so self-serving. Hang your food the proper way. Do not hang it in a shelter. Bears are out, and they're everywhere. And I'm seeing reports of them everywhere. And there could be one showing up to the shelter tonight because they all decided to hang their food right where a bear can get to it so easily. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? This is gonna do it for tonight. Pennsylvania's kicking my ass, but I'm not going away. So I'll see y'all in the morning. Good night. All right. It was a wet night full of thunderstorms. A wet morning, packing up my tent and all my stuff. We've got another 20 miles to do today. And inching closer to the Pennsylvania-New Jersey state line. So let's get it. All right, good morning. It is about 8 a.m. on Thursday, June 2nd. Day 102, just leaving wood furnace shelter. I was so irritated that I had to sleep in my tent last night and it thunderstormed for half the night at least and poured down, raining the other half. So everything was wet this morning. Packing up, but that's cool because today I'm going to be getting picked up and I'm going to be staying with one of my followers on Instagram who invited me in. She says that they take in hikers every year, so I'm excited to be indoors tonight and to let all my stuff dry out and maybe try to clean some stuff. And I may or may not take a zero tomorrow. I know they also offer to slack pack me, so I think I'll definitely take them up on that either tomorrow or Saturday, but we'll see. So today I'm doing about 20 miles to get to Thunderhead Lodge, and that's where I will be picked up from later on this afternoon. So I really want to get a move on because it's supposed to start raining again this afternoon. But yeah, my body's feeling a little tired today, but I think we'll get warmed up and we'll get moving pretty soon. I also haven't eaten breakfast yet. I sort of made my breakfast essentials threw a couple bars in my pocket and I just took off. So I'll start eating as I walk or once I get to the top of this climb. So I'll see y'all in a bit. Hello from Pulpit Rock. Not much to see today. I'm so glad it's finally a little bit cooler outside than it has been the last few days. We're only in the 70s today, not the 90s. I think that rain storm system that came through last night really cooled things down. I'm so happy about that. Last few days were miserable, and today might be the rockiest the trail has been so far in PA. I call this the shredder. Like, all these rocks are just carving up my feet. As you can see, there's literally nowhere you can step without a rock, and they're all sharp and jagged, and you step on it, you step on one and it just drives up into your foot. This is not super pleasant, but I gotta keep going. The further I go, the sooner I will be out of PA. But boy, is it sure living up to its name of Rocksylvania. Most definitely. It's like every time somebody in this state sneezes, more rocks fall onto the trail. Gosh. Whew. All right, we gotta get a move on today because I'm trying to be done as quick as possible so I can go sit down inside somewhere and hopefully soak my feet, because I could really use that right about now. A nice Epsom salt bath. So it's right around 12 noon. Logged about 11 and a half miles so far today. Came just shy of another 12 by 12, but didn't quite leave early enough this morning. And I'm moving a little fast right now because I'm being chased by a bee. It just keeps buzzing around my head. It might be gone now, but was following me for a good quarter of a mile. And I am almost at the top of this 2.5 mile climb, which was exhausting. I'm tired. My feet are sore. I had small rocks in my shoe, so that was an issue. But good news is I have less than 10 miles to my intended destination. I may decide to tack on another 5 miles just so I have less to do in the next few days to get out of the state. And another one of my followers has offered to come meet me a little ways up the trail and bring me Chipotle. So I'm definitely in the mood for that right now. And I'm about 7 miles away from where we are planning to meet. So that's also why I'm moving pretty fast. But really, I just want to be done for the day. I want to enjoy a 0 tomorrow. Yeah. It's just really humid and I'm tired. My body is tired. Well, there's something to brighten the day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I just stopped at a shelter about 100 yards back just to get off my feet for a minute. Honestly, the trail today is starting to break me a little bit. The rocks non-stop. I've had these tiny little rocks in my shoes, which have been annoying. I've had to keep taking my shoes off. There's really been nothing to look at except just this green tunnel that you can see behind me. That's all that's around me. There's nothing really to look at. And it just seems like I can't move through this trail fast enough. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been, following my hike and encouraging me to keep going. And that does mean something, but at the same time, it would still be nice to have someone physically here who could experience this with me and just encourage me in the moment when I'm feeling like maybe I want to stop doing this. Someone who really understands what the struggle is like every day. It's hard. And it's hard doing this entire thing pretty much alone. And every time I run into some hikers, it's either a couple or 2 or 3 people who have already clicked up. And it's becoming annoying. I'm getting annoyed. I had more thoughts about quitting, but there's this voice in my head that just keeps telling me to just finish. So I'm not gonna quit, but I'm just not having fun. This isn't the experience that I thought it was gonna be. And I probably should have started a few weeks later, and this whole thing might be or might have been different. I was just talking to a guy back at the shelter and telling him about how this whole pre-bubble crowd is so type A and they're all about just plugging miles and no one is really that social, and it's just a bunch of older retired people who just, rather than engaging with you, they'll get somewhere, jump on the phone and call their spouses back at home, and they go to bed super early and no one has fun. No one is spontaneous. All the people who maybe I could have had fun with have just blown past me because they're super obsessed with doing 30 plus miles a day. It's all the ideas that I had about this trail and this hike, I don't know, the actual experience isn't matching those ideas. And that is what's really making me just want to say, fuck it. Just go on about my business. I can tell you one thing, I will finish this. And I ain't never coming out to do it again. And I mean that. And you might not ever catch me on anybody's PCT, CDT, At this point, I don't really know, 'cause to keep coming out here to spend 6 months all by myself, just walking every day, I don't need to keep doing that. But I'm less than 4 miles away from the lodge. I'm ready to get some food and go sit down somewhere, take this pack off. And I think I'm definitely taking it zero tomorrow because I don't even want to take another step right now, even though I am. Like my motivation levels are very low right now. But we gotta keep going. So I heard that right now, I'm maybe just a day or two behind Mr. J Wanders Out. So I might be catching up to him pretty soon. I did meet him at Trail Days, but to actually be right behind him on trail, that's pretty cool. I've seen where he's signed different logbooks and he's written comments on Far Out, maybe just like 2-3 days before I got to that same place. So I know that I've been gaining on him. And also, I heard that somebody's looking for me, someone who goes by number 2 pencil. Literally everybody has been telling me that he's looking for me and he wants to meet me, but nobody will tell me where exactly he is. I'm pretty sure he's behind me. I just don't know where or how far. But hopefully we will run into each other one of these days. But yeah, I just thought that's pretty cool. Maybe I'll have some friends pretty soon, because right now I'm over it. .com. Yeah, I have just been revived. So I think I mentioned earlier that I might be getting some Chipotle today, and I just did. Shout out to my Instagram follower, Max. He told me that he's been following since day one. He's watched all my videos and he wanted to offer me some support. So he drove at least 45 minutes to bring me a steak bowl from Chipotle and a vanilla Coke. That is what I'm talking about. Well, actually, no, that is just something to be grateful for. I don't want it to sound like it's expected for people to come out and do things for hikers, but he did it because he wanted to. He did it because he appreciates what I'm doing and he wanted to help out and support. And I asked if there was anything I could give him and he said no. And I am so grateful. My spirits are lifted. That bowl was so good. I devoured it in literally like a minute. And downed a vanilla Coke. And I'm full. I can barely move, but I have less than 2 miles to the lodge where I'm going to meet up with Mary, another Instagram follower, who is going to allow me to stay with her for a couple nights. So I pushed really hard today and I'm being rewarded for it. And I'm just so literally full, but also figuratively full. And I'm very content at the moment. Thank you, Max. I hope that one day things will work out for you to come do a thru hike of your own. Thank you so much for the support and for all the effort to bring me that bowl. I really appreciate it. All right, now let's finish this day up, this 20-mile day. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. And it's starting to rain, so I got to get a move on. Hey, y'all. So yeah, today is pretty much over. Managed to get in another 20 miles. I met someone who knows me from Instagram. Her name is Mary at Thunderhead Lodge. And she picked me up from there. We had a little bite to eat and a couple drinks. And she brought me back to her log cabin home here in somewhere Pennsylvania. And she's allowing me to stay here for a few nights. So really happy, really grateful. Probably going to be taking a 0 tomorrow and then slack packing on Saturday just to get me a little closer to Delaware Water Gap, which is pretty much where PA ends. And yeah, I just took a shower, so I'm feeling all nice and clean. Gonna throw some laundry in because it's been some hot, sweaty days and my stuff stinks. And yeah, I've got a glass of wine poured and I'm just gonna chill for the night. Funny story, while I was just in the shower, one of her dogs came into the room and got into some of my food bags, which I left on the floor, so that's my bad. Pretty much all he did was chew through my spice bag, so there was all of this turmeric and oregano and garlic powder on the floor when I came back, so I just vacuumed that up. And he kind of chewed through my toiletry bag, which I don't know what he was trying to get out of there, maybe some toothpaste. But Mary had some extra plastic bags, which she's given me, so that's no big deal. But yeah, never would have thought I would have been exposed to so many dogs on this trail, and I'm finding that I'm not as much of a dog person as I maybe thought I was. Yeah, but no big deal. I'm happy to be here. So nice and cozy here. And I'm excited to take a 0 and just sort of hit reset because I probably need it right now. But yeah, this is probably going to do it for tonight. I'm going to go hang out with her, watch some TV, and enjoy a nice day off trail tomorrow because I need it. So this is going to be all for today. I will talk to y'all later and have a good night.